Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful. In today's video, I wanted to discuss about manifestation techniques. So we would be covering a few things over here, what these techniques actually are, how do they help you in your manifestation journey, what are those situations in which they would not be able to help you or help you very partially, and lastly, if you really need them for your manifestation. So starting with what manifestation techniques actually are. These techniques can also be called as methods or tools, and these essentially help you in your creation, help you in your journey of manifestation. These are not magical wands that would create for you or guarantee any kind of results, and how they work and how much they work depend on a few things which we would be discussing ahead. Now, coming to how do these techniques actually work and how do they help you? So, for people who have not really arrived at an understanding of how these actually work, they tend to think that these help us in getting what we wish for, and that's their only work. But that's not actually what they're doing. These techniques are basically bringing you in a state of mind where you're experiencing your desire within you in that very moment. It makes you believe in the possibility of your creation, and the repetition of these techniques create persistence for you. So persistence in the wish fulfilled, persistence in the state of mind where you know your desire is yours and which is aligned with the reality you're looking for. So let's break this down a little bit and try to understand how your mind is actually working and how repetition of something, whether it's positive or negative, affects your mind. So your mind is basically what you feed it. And whether you're feeding it negative things or positive things, it starts behaving the same way. You are the only one who has complete control over your mind. Now, what happens is that as and when we grow up and we start dealing with the outside world, we start dealing with different kind of people, we have a lot of responsibilities, we start dealing with a lot of different kind of circumstances and situations. And knowingly or unknowingly, we start giving up that control or losing that control and just distributing it to different people, different situations, because we start thinking that everything has to happen through someone or through something for me to have something or for me to become something or for me to have any kind of success, whether it's in something small or something big. And what we don't realize in that process is that we can as easily bring back that control of our mind and of our thoughts with a little bit of practice and persistence. Because your mind is what you feed it, if you start feeding it negative conversations and negative scenarios, it would behave in a certain way. And if you start feeding it positive scenarios and positive conversations, it would behave a certain way. So that's why it's usually mentioned that we need to be more aware. We need to be more mindful about the things that are going on inside us throughout the day. So what kind of thoughts are you having? What kind of inner conversations are going on inside you? Are you making up any kind of situations that might not even happen? And are there any kinds of incidents or any kinds of events that have taken place in the past and they were hard enough to go through the first time, but you're replaying them inside you again and again and experiencing and living it even though it does not feel good? So you need to be aware of whatever is going on inside you throughout the day, through your waking hours, right? Because all these conversations and thoughts get impressed in your subconscious mind, and eventually that is what drives your behavior, that is what drives your emotions. So now, what are those situations in which these techniques might not work for you or might work for you partially? If you're only depending on your technique schedule, whether you're doing it once a day, twice a day, multiple times a day, for 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever the schedule looks like, but if you're only depending on that and you're using these techniques actually as a band-aid, but not really working on the actual problem. So for example, you have a wound, right? And that wound has to heal. But instead of working on that wound to heal, you're actually just putting a band-aid on top of it. And for example, the band-aid is your technique. You're just putting that technique on top of it without actually healing your wound. Now, how is that going to help you? It's not. It's going to be mindless technique work, and it is not really going to help you in the creation you're planning to do. So what you need to do is you need to heal the wound, and for that you need to put medicine. Here the medicine can be called as your belief system. So unless you work on your belief system, and change the beliefs surrounding that specific subject. It could be relationships, or for example, it could be career or wealth. If you do not work on that belief system and are just using techniques as a band-aid, it is not really going to work for you. Because only your thoughts are manifesting, only your thoughts are creating your outer reality, and the whole manifestation process can be just summarized in this one sentence, that your thoughts are creating. Your dominant thoughts are creating, right? Techniques are not manifesting for you. You are the one manifesting. So let's break this down into two scenarios. The first scenario would be you have chosen a technique and you're practicing it on a daily basis. Maybe you're also doing good repetition, but it's not making you believe in the possibility of having your desire. It's not bringing you in the state of mind which is aligned with the reality you're looking for. And if it feels forced, it's not feeling natural, then that is one situation in which the technique might not be working in your favor. So what you can do is you can try other techniques till you arrive at a technique which feels natural, which is actually bringing you in that experience, which is actually making you feel yes, this is possible, and making you believe in that possibility of you creating your desire. And there are a lot of techniques out there. There's affirmations, visualization, scripting, sleep meditation, and many, many more. So you can try other techniques and see which one feels the most natural, which one is making you actually enjoy that technique schedule. The second scenario would be that you have chosen a technique that feels really good and you love practicing it, and it's actually making you experience your desire being with you in this very moment. But what's happening during the remaining hours of the day is you are indulging in opposite thoughts. You are having anxiety, you are having doubtful or fearful thoughts. So under all those affirmations or under all the other techniques, whether you're visualizing or scripting, you are not really believing those thoughts or words you're writing or saying, or believing the possibility of it taking place. So because your mind is what you feed it, if you're doing a technique for 10 minutes or say half an hour during the day, and then during the remaining 10 hours or 12 hours, you are indulging in opposite thoughts, by default, this will become your predominant thoughts, right? And eventually, predominant thoughts will reflect outside, not the 10 minutes technique, right? You need to persist in those thoughts even during the remaining hours of the day, during your waking hours. So you can start with this practice initially, where if you have any opposite thought coming up, catch it in that moment, be aware of what's going on inside you, and have those thoughts replaced with few sentences. You can call them as affirmations. So if your thoughts are on the lines of, I would not be able to do this, this is too good to be true, or this happens only for specific type of people, you can have it replaced with, I can do this is possible, it's a very normal thing, so many people have it, I can have it too. What these replaced thoughts would do is they would soothe you in that moment when you're having that anxiety or fear and doubts, and it will calm you down. And eventually, as you keep replacing your undesirable thoughts with your desirable thoughts that aligns with the reality you're wanting to create, your mind will start thinking that way eventually, because your mind will get rewired, because your mind is what you feed it. So lastly, do you really need techniques to help you in your manifestation process? No, you do not need any kind of techniques. Yes, they are available for you as external tools. You can take help and assistance through it. If it's making you feel really good, if you do it out of choice, you can do it, but you do not need them. So try going back to a time where you did not come across these concepts and these terms and manifestation as a process, which we are talking about nowadays. You were still manifesting. So your thoughts were manifesting even back then. You were not really putting any time separately for any kind of techniques, and you're manifesting even today. The only difference is now you're doing it consciously, you're doing it with more awareness, because you know that you can catch your thoughts, you can flip your thoughts, and then you can replace them with desirable thoughts, and that would be working in your favor. So it's only a difference of being aware all of a sudden and not being aware. There's no difference in the manifestation process. You have been doing it since birth. There are a lot of master manifestors who are not really using any techniques. They just know when they have a desire and they become it. They identify with it. They start feeling it within them that yes, I can have it. So it's that small shift for them. But definitely, if you are at the beginning stages of trying to learn manifestation as a concept and how conscious creation is done, these tools are available for you. They can help you, they can assist you by bringing you in that state of mind where you start believing in the possibility of you having your desire with you. But it's not needed. You can do it without it, you can do it with it. It completely depends on you. What makes you feel good? If the techniques are making you feel good, then keep doing it. If they're not making you feel good, and without having done those, or without taking the help of techniques, you are able to manifest, then you can do it that way. So when we were small, during our early childhood days or our early teenage years, we were doing manifestation so naturally, right? We used to have these visuals inside our mind. We used to daydream a lot. We used to have all these kind of fun inner conversations that used to make us smile, laugh, and giggle with the possibility of something taking place. So that was the natural manifestation process we were already doing, and we still do it till date. It's just that as and when we grow up, the kind of thoughts we start entertaining in our mind change. When we are small, and this I'm talking in very general terms, we don't really have many responsibilities. Again, this might not apply for everyone, but usually in a perfect world where children are just playing, sleeping, eating, and doing their schoolwork, they don't really have to deal with the outside world, outside people, and circumstances. And so our imagination runs so wild, right? And we enjoy it. We are enjoying that imagination, we are enjoying that daydreaming. But as and when we grow up and we kind of start losing touch with that internal wild imagination, and everything gets replaced with so many doubts and fears that this is just wishful thinking, it might not ever be true for me, this might not happen for me. So we have imagination for a reason, and our imagination can go to any extent, and to whatever extent your imagination can go, you can achieve all of it, you can get all of it, you can create all of it. So don't keep any kind of limits on your mind. Try to rewire your mind in a way where it aligns with the reality you're looking for. Practice doing that, keep practicing it till your mind gets used to it, and eventually you will get a hang of how manifestation process works. It's nothing but your thoughts, your predominant thoughts. And if you want to change what is happening outside, all you have to change is how your predominant thoughts are working. If you want to change your predominant thoughts, all you have to do is work on your belief system, and the techniques will enable you to do that. And lastly, the only thing you have to remember is, and keep coming back to, is that you're not trying to change anything outside. You are changing your internal state that will eventually reflect outside and work in your favor. Some people feel techniques should not be forced, they should feel natural, and there are a lot of people who actually do robotic repetition of techniques and it works for them. So again, it completely differs from one person to another person. We should not be putting across any kind of limited beliefs that we think might work or might not work. If you have done robotic repetitions earlier, when it comes to affirmations or scripting, then if it has worked for you, and if it has created that belief in you that no, this works for me, even though it does not work for so many people, I would keep doing it. Do it that way. Whatever works for you, whatever is manifesting for you, you can keep doing it. Because even if you see so many videos out there, so many people are providing experiences from how manifestation process has been for them. It has worked for them, and that's why they're sharing it, which is okay. You can share how things have worked for you, but that is not always only the right way. So as I mentioned, you can do those techniques that are feeling natural, that is making you feel really good about doing those techniques. And if it's working for you, good. And if you're one of those who likes to do robotic techniques, robotic repetition, and if it is something that is working for you, that's also good. You can keep doing it because it's working for you. So we would not be putting any kind of limited beliefs on this channel. Manifestation works for different people in different ways. As I mentioned earlier, everything just comes down to one sentence, that is, your thoughts are creating. If you're able to change your thoughts with feeling the techniques, or if you're able to change your thoughts with robotic repetition, the main goal is to change your thoughts. That is all. This remains constant. This is one thing that will not change, the manifestation process. So whatever you can do to change your thoughts, whatever is helpful to you, whatever process is exclusive to you, you can keep doing it and it will fetch you the results. So I really hope you found some value in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.